Good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Supachong Tinsuwan. The Meteorological Department is warning 24 provinces across the country to brace for severe weather conditions tomorrow. And already many areas in the north and northeast are on the brink of significant flooding. So authorities say they will cancel tomorrow's flood drainage test in eastern Bangkok if heavy rain hits the capital. At 2 p.m. tomorrow, the National Water Resources and Flood Policy Committee are scheduled to conduct a flood drainage test on the east side of Bangkok. However, if heavy rain hits the capital tomorrow as it did this morning, the committee will consider postponing the test to next week. Tomorrow's test, if it goes ahead, will prove whether the La Prao Canal is up to the task of draining water away fast enough when the time comes, as this strategic water route is the key drainage channel for eastern Bangkok. The National Water Resources and Flood Policy Committee says yesterday's test on the western side of Bangkok went very well and added that the Tui Watana Canal is ready for the floods if they come. However, Suwat Jitladakon, a water expert from the Engineering Institute of Thailand, was quoted as saying the drainage tests were ineffective because they involved the release of too small an amount of water. Meanwhile, widespread thunder showers are expected across the country tomorrow, and the Meteorological Department is warning 24 provinces, namely Tak, Kamphaeng Phet, Phichit, Phitsanulok, Sukhothai, and Phetchabun in the north, the northeastern provinces of Sakon Nakhon, Udon Thani, Chayapum, Nakhon Ratchasima, the central provinces of Nakhon Sawan, Uthai Thani, Kanchanaburi, Lopburi, Saraburi, Nakhon Nayok, and the eastern provinces of Prachinburi, Chonburi, Rayong, Chanthaburi, Trat, Ranong, as well as Phang Nga in the south of Thailand, to beware of severe weather conditions due to the low pressure cell currently lying over the eastern and central of Thailand. The construction of flood barricades around the Bang Hwa or high-tech industrial estate in Ayutthaya province is almost complete. This helps boost investors' confidence in the flood prevention measures in the area. Meanwhile, some factories have installed additional precautionary measures by raising their buildings to protect their production units. The level of this building, which contains an operational unit of a vaccine manufacturer, has been raised by 4.4 meters using a hydraulic system. This unit has been transformed into a storage room where equipment and materials can be moved easily to keep them safe from floods. This vaccine factory is located in the Bang Hwa or high-tech industrial estate in Ayutthaya province. The project to raise the level of this factory began in February, and vaccine production will resume once the construction is complete, which is estimated to be within this year. The elevated floor covers 1,250 square meters in an area and weighs over 1,000 tons. The cost of lifting the building, coupled with procurement of new and replacement equipment, was around 150 million baht. This, however, excludes the collateral costs arising from suspending the production line for more than 14 months. Managers at the factory said it is worth it if it can help protect the factory against future floodings. Meanwhile, Somnuk San Sombun Suk, manager of the high-tech industrial estate, said that the flood barricades surrounding the industrial estate are now 98% complete and are strong enough to protect the area from floods. These barricades are 4.9 meters above the average sea level, or equal to last year's flood level. Another 50 centimeters will be added to the barricades next year. And as a result of the severe flooding last year, the government launched their 3.5 billion baht water management plan to address the problem. Dr. Rungtip Chodnapalai talked to Assistant Professor Phitpat Puripanyakun, an environmental engineer, who pointed out that effective water management is vital, but the government should have a long-term strategy. He also suggested that the terms of reference, or TOR, for companies wishing to bid for water management projects must be transparent or should be written to give Thai companies the opportunity to take part.
By some project, just short term, we can do it with nothing.
Right.
But some project is it take long time. For example, for the floodway or the construction to dam, it should be a study, and for the public hearing for the impact, EIA or the other. So that should take time.
Right. So you think that is important, but then some of these had to study before they go ahead and do it, right? But the other thing that a lot of people are concerned is the TOR that might be beneficial or have given advantage for the foreign investors. Can we still change the TOR?
The TOR now we consider about the construction.
Right.
We said that so in that case, but in general, it should be before construction. We should be have the study for the feasibility study for the assessment impact and other. So in that case, it should be take a separate some for the TOR. Some is have to make it do it, but some should be. Yes.
So what do you think is the most urgent plan, and what should we maybe redo it for the long-term plan?
About for the protection, for the area we can do it, but for floodway or for the construction dam, for the have the diversion water or the other, that should be for the long time.
October 6th was proclaimed Thailand's Anti-Corruption Day by the Anti-Corruption Network as it coincides with the anniversary of the death of Dusit Nontanakorn, the founder of the network, who passed away last year due to cancer. A seminar was held today to mark Anti-Corruption Day. It was divided into 4 categories for participants from the business, private, public and media sectors to discuss ways to effectively combat graft.
Distinguished academics from the National Institute of Development Administration, or NIDA, who were in attendance today, said even though the World Economic Forum announced that Thailand's competitiveness level has improved this year from 39th to 38th place, the points awarded to Thailand did not actually improve. Most business people who completed the WEF questionnaire ranked political instability and corruption as the 2 most worrisome obstructions to doing business in Thailand. Even though the Anti-Corruption Network, in collaboration with over 42 institutions and 100 companies, is pushing for a real change, some businesses remain cynical about the corruption situation in Thailand. They said that ineffective law enforcement, ambiguous state auction proceedings, and a complicated state bureaucracy allow loopholes for bribery. Pramon Suthiwong, president of the network, complained that the government is still not taking the problem of graft seriously. Regardless, the network will continue to press ahead with its campaign against money under the table and will monitor the problem closely. He added that the transfer of the Secretary General of the Public Sector Anti-Corruption Commission, or PAC, only attracts increased public attention to the corruption problem in the country. Warawan Tharapum, former president of the Association of Investment Management Companies, proposed that the government set aside 1% of the state tax revenues to support institutions and agencies that help eliminate corruption. To say that the government needs to take the fight against graft seriously so that companies can compete freely.
Former Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad is scheduled to make a special speech tomorrow at a 2-day seminar which aims to promote peace and stability in the Deep South. Meanwhile, experts attending the seminar say a peace dialogue between extremists and the state is essential to end the violence. Political scientists, peace experts, academics, Thai and foreign, are gathered at the Prince of Songkhla University in Songkhla Province for this significant seminar, which will include a civic group from the region who will have an opportunity to explain their ideas on how to create a peaceful South. Participants agree a peace dialogue between all parties is the key to bringing back peace and stability. However, seeking a middleman who is trusted by both sides may be difficult, but key to any solution.
I think it is crucial to involve in the future peace efforts insiders from the region, insiders from the rest of Thailand, and people who have close connections to the authorities as well as to the insurgents, because that enhances the likelihood that there are several channels of communication where new ideas and avenues for de-escalation and finding steps towards positive peace can be identified.
Former Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad and former Thai Prime Minister Abhisit Vejjajiva are scheduled to make special speeches tomorrow relating to the way politics can bring an end to conflict and foster peace in ASEAN. The opposition Democrats have rejected the government's invitation to join talks about solving southern unrest. Nonetheless, Deputy PM Chalerm Yubamrung will carry on with the meeting with high-ranking officials charged with solving unrest. The government is also planning to seek assistance from Malaysian authorities in addressing the problems. The opposition wanted a live debate in Parliament on how the government is dealing with southern violence, but Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra did not attend the House meeting today, and the issue was not raised.
The Energy Regulatory Commission has approved an 18 stang increase in the fuel tariff, or FT, between September and December, which will result in electricity bills increasing to 3.71 stang per unit. In light of an increase in the cost of power generation, the Energy Regulatory Commission agreed to increase the fuel tariff by 18 stang per unit to take effect between September and December. The rise is lower than the previously announced adjustment of 38.24 stang, as the Commission wants to help mitigate effects on the public's cost of living. Direk Lawan Siri, President of the Energy Regulatory Commission, noted that the Commission will shoulder the difference of 20.24 stang per unit, which equates to a 10.504 billion baht subsidy. The implementation of the new FT rate will increase power bills to 3.70 stang per unit, excluding VAT. The charge is divided into two components: the base electricity bill at 3.23 stang per unit and the new FT rate of 48 stang. The FT rate is revised every 4 months to reflect the actual cost of fuel used in power generation. The government pharmaceutical organization will launch its own erectile dysfunctional drug, Viagra, on October the 15th at a fraction of the price of the world-famous Viagra. The treatment for erectile dysfunction in men is already been registered with the Food and Drug Administration. Viagra sells for about 200 baht per tablet, but according to Dr. Witit Awarakulkun, Managing Director of the GPO, Viagra will cost only 25 baht per 50 milligram tablet and 45 baht per 100 milligram dose. He added that the sale of the inexpensive product will help stem the sale of fake medicines and give hope to people with no access to expensive remedies and address the growing needs of the aging society. He predicted that the new drug will be very popular. The GPO has also improved and expanded its facilities to meet the PICS standard and raised production capacity to 5 million tablets in preparation for the birth of the AEC. The state enterprise under the Public Health Ministry is eyeing the market for diabetes, high blood pressure, and HIV/AIDS medications in Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Malaysia as well. Pontep Siri Watanarangsan, Director General of the Disease Control Department, also warned the public about dengue fever during this rainy season, as 38,500 cases and 42 deaths have already been reported so far this year. Last week alone, 5 people died from the disease. And 2 giant pandas from China touched down in Singapore today after leaving their home in Sichuan province yesterday. The male, Kai Kai, who is nearly 5 years old, and the 4-year-old female, Jia Jia, are on a 10-year loan from China.
Wildlife Reserve Singapore chairperson Claire Chiang, who flew to Ya'an Bifengjia Panda Base in China to greet the pair yesterday, said the two have very different personalities.
And he is what I would say a Casanova, because he poses, he really creates postures and happy. And yesterday when we were there, I was there at 7:45, he was literally posing for me for a photograph. Jia Jia is a little shy, and even when we gave them the high fiber biscuits that WRS produced, Jia Jia was a little slower to it, but now she's all right.
They were transported from the tarmac at Changi Airport straight to their new home at the River Safari Zoo in Singapore to be placed on quarantine for a month. Later, if all goes to plan, they'll be put in the enclosure at River Safari, designed to simulate their natural habitat near the Yangtze River, with some red pandas and golden pheasants. Wildlife Reserves Singapore hope the pair will start breeding once they mature. A crowd outside River Safari and a performance by panda mascots welcomed the Chinese pair's arrival at the zoo. China has been sending their black and white ambassadors abroad as a sign of goodwill since the 1950s, as part of what is known as Panda Diplomacy. The World Wildlife Fund said there are only about 1,600 of the endangered species remaining in the wild. The giant pandas exhibit will be open to the public in December this year. Hugh Adams, Thai PBS.
And if you would like to join our team as an English language news reporter with Thai PBS English News Service, please do check out our website, thaipbs.or.th. And if you're interested, please send your resumes to job@thaipbs.or.th. That's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Subhajon Kulinsawan. สวัสดีครับ